right. Shalom. Shalom to the elect of Israel, whoever you might be out there. I want to start off as always by giving all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem YAHAWASHI. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect out there, whoever you might be. And shalom to the 144,000. It's the brother Amawan Padah from the Judgements Denver camp, coming at you with a lesson, and it's going to be on Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter. All right, I was doing some reading, and this stuck out to me, man. Very heavy. All right. Now, we'll start at verse 1, and we'll grab precepts as we go along. All right. So, verse 1, it says, a prayer of Habakkuk, the prophet, upon Shigionoth. All right. O Yahweh, Bahashem YAHAWASHI, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Yahweh, Bahashem YAHAWASHI, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known. In wrath, remember mercy. All right. So the prophet Habakkuk, all right, he said he heard the speech of the Lord, man. Meaning he understood the will of Yahweh Bahashem YAHAWASHI. All right, he understood that the Lord is coming to bring wrath. You see, and that's why he says right here, in wrath remember mercy, because that's what we're seeking. We're seeking mercy. Because when Yahweh Bahashem YAHAWASHI begins to open up on this world, on this society, death is going to be all around us. And we pray that we're under that hedge of protection, because we're in that time, man. We're in that time. And if you know, you know, man, the fear of the Lord, man, is something that you need to have, because the Lord Yahweh Bahashem YAHAWASHI is nothing to play with. All right? We don't want no smoke with the Lord, man. We don't want to be on this bad side. We don't want to get caught up in the judgments that are coming. And we're praying that the Lord, you know, has mercy on us, man. Let's get a quick precept. All right, here we have the book of Psalms, chapter 89. I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, for who in the heaven can be compared unto the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem YAHAWASHI? Who among the sons of the mighty can be likened unto the Lord? The Most High is greatly to be feared in the assembly of the saints, and to be had in reverence of all them that are about him. And the saints are the Israelites, man. And the Lord Yahweh is greatly to be feared. He's known as the King of terrors. All right. The Lord kills and makes alive, as it tells you in Deuteronomy 32 and 39. All right. And we're in a time of the Lord killing a lot of people. You see, we're in that time of judgment. And it's, you know, it's much needed, but we pray that we're not caught up in it, man. So we move in the fear of Yahweh Bahashem YAHAWASHI. You got a lot of guys that are falling off in these last days, you know what I'm saying? And they're going to receive judgment. The elder Bishop Athun did a lesson on this recently, talking about how guys were in this thing, you know, for a while, and then, you know, they fell out. All right? You see what I'm saying? It's like, man, they don't fear the judgment that's to come for that. That's why we strive so hard, man. We fear the Lord, man. We be tired, worn down from work. All right? The weight of the world, you know, weighing down on us. But guess what? We serve the Lord because we want to receive mercy, man. The Lord's going to have mercy on his servants who endure to the end. All right? So move in that fear of the Lord, man. The saints, all right, starting with the elect, they have the fear of Yahweh Bahashem YAHAWASHI, unlike the majority of the people on the earth. All right, so back in Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, let's go on to verse 3. All right. It says, the Most High came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran, Salah. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. Now, one aspect of the glory of the Lord is the chariots. All right, the angels. Those so-called UFOs that everybody's been seeing and recording. That's part of the glory of the Lord, and they're finna cover the earth in these last days. All right? They're finna cover the heavens. That's why they're being spotted more and more. All right, verse 4, it says, and his brightness was as the light, He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. Now, we go to that word horns. I believe that goes into rays of light. Let's get that real quick. So this is a vision of Habakkuk, man. All right, so here's that verse right here in the blue letter Bible, Habakkuk chapter 3 and verse 4. Let's go down to that term horns right here in the Hebrew. All right.
Strong's H, 7161. Keren. Keren.
All right, so yeah, man, in the Hebrew, all right. And it says horn of strength. Okay. But this is talking about, let's jump down, not talking about a musical instrument. It's talking about rays of light, as you can see right here in the definition F. All right. Rays of light. All right. All right, so check this out. This is that same verse in the NLT. All right. The New Living Translation. And it says, Habakkuk 3 and 4, his coming is as brilliant as the sunrise. Rays of light flash from his hands. Whoo-wee. Where his awesome power is hidden. You see that? So the vision of Habakkuk, man, he saw the light coming from his hands. All right, that's spiritual power, man. That's what our Lord is coming with. All right, but let's go ahead and continue on in the Habakkuk 3 in the KJV. All right, so verse 5, it says, before him went the pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his feet. He stood and measured the earth. He beheld and drove asunder the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills did bow. His ways are everlasting. All right. So the Lord's finna drive the nations asunder, man. You know, these heathen. All right. He's finna break them up, take them out of power. The everlasting mountains are these governments, because the word mountains a lot of times is synonymous for governments in the scriptures. He's finna dismantle all these governments, man. All right. Especially when he returns, man, when he sends his son YAHAWASHI. All right. You see? Let's get a precept on that real quick. So here we have another vision of YAHAWASHI returning, right? Revelation chapter 19 and verse 11. It says, and I saw heaven open, and behold a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. All right, let's talk about YAHAWASHI returning on those so-called UFOs. Man, he's coming back on a huge spaceship, all right, as they call it here. All right, we know those to be the chariots of the heavens, the vehicles of the angels. All right, and that's how YAHAWASHI is coming. He's not coming on an actual white horse out of the sky, man. He's coming back on a huge UFO, man, as they call it. All right, he's coming back to do what? To judge and make war. He's going to scatter these heathen. He's going to dismantle the rulership of all these heathen, especially the Edomite rulership. It says his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, meaning he's going to take these governments down. These heathen governments of the earth, he's going to take them down. He's going to take the crowns of these kings of the earth. All right, these different heathen rulers. That's what this is referring to, man. It says, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. It's not talking about we don't know his name. It's talking about his reputation. He's going to show his true reputation when he returns. All right, he's going to get that respect in the earth when he shows his power that's been given unto him by the Heavenly Father, man. Because a lot of people don't respect the Lord YAHAWASHI. All right, they finna see. All right, so that word name right there goes into reputation, rank. All right, so back in Habakkuk 3, verse 7, it says, I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction, and the curtains of the land of Midian did tremble. Was the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi YAHAWASHI, displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea, that thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation? So there's a lot said right there. The Lord is coming back with such immense power. It's going to seem like he was mad at the rivers, man. All right, because the earth is going to tremble when these chariots show up, man. All right. You see what I'm saying? When the Lord returns, he's coming back with great power, immense power. And the prophet Habakkuk was like, man, were you mad at the rivers? All right. He saw him riding upon those chariots, those horses, meaning the vehicles of the angels, man. And it also says chariots of salvation. That's how the elect are going to be saved out of the coming destruction. All right. The angels, man, the chariots are going to take up the elect to meet YAHAWASHI in the air, man. That's something else that we're looking forward to as well, man. All right. The salvation of the elect. Let's get that precept that goes into how the chariots of the Lord are going to be the salvation of the elect. So here we have the book of Matthew, chapter 24. I'm going to start at verse 29. This is Lord YAHAWASHI speaking right here, man. And he says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. So this is going into the destruction of what's coming upon the earth, man. The destruction of war. All right, World War III to be exact, the War of Armageddon, all right, which is going to be a nuclear war. There's going to be plenty of smoke in the air during this time, blocking out the sky. All right, you know, it says, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. All right, so it's going to be a time of great destruction, man. Verse 30, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And that is talking about YAHAWASHI. He's talking about his own return. All right. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. So there it is again. This is referring to the return of our Lord YAHAWASHI. We know how he's coming. He's coming back with great power, like you've never seen before. Okay? And these damn devils are trying to prepare for that now, because they're going to try to fight the Lord when he returns. Can you imagine that, man? The governments of this world are going to actually try to band together. They're going to leave off from World War III and try to fight the Lord in the air and the angels. And they're going to lose horribly. All right? That's spoken of in 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter. It goes into that. And we've done lessons on that as well. All right? But yeah, we're going to see the Lord coming in the air, in the clouds of heaven, talking about those chariots, those so-called UFOs, man. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. You see? So there you go, man. The angels are going to take the elect up to meet the Lord YAHAWASHI in his chariot. You see? You're going to have elect, you know, being beamed up all over the four corners of the earth, man. Being taken up into the heavens. It's going to be, you know, something that people are not going to be ready for, man. Something far beyond anything that they've ever imagined. As it tells you in Wisdom of Solomon, I believe the 5th chapter. Let's get that real quick. Hold on. But yeah, the chariots of salvation. That's how we're going to be saved, man. So here we have it. Since I quoted it, it's Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. Now, verse 1, it says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. All right. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. There you go. The strangeness of our salvation is going to be out of this world, man. People are not going to be expecting so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, all right, to be taken up into the chariots, man, to be abducted, all right? They're not going to actually expect that to happen, but we're telling you it's going to happen, all right? And it's going to be even more magnificent than what we can imagine, all right? We can only speculate how it's going to look, but the thing is that they're going to see us being taken up, Lord willing, we're of that number, all right? The chariots of salvation. All right, so there you go, man. All right, so continuing on in Habakkuk chapter 3, we left off at verse 8, where it mentions the Lord coming back, you know, in the so-called UFOs, right? The chariots of salvation. Verse 9, it says, thy bow was made quite naked according to the oaths of the tribes, even thy word, Selah. Thou didst cleave the earth with rivers. The mountains saw thee, and they trembled. The overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered his voice and lifted up his hands on high. The sun and moon stood still in their habitation. At the light of thine arrows they went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear. All right, the light of thine arrows, man, that goes into, you know, the concentrated fire that comes from the chariots. All right, you see, the chariots have weapons. The angels, they have weapons on those UFOs, man. They're gonna come and get busy. The Lord YAHAWASHI himself is gonna, you know, get busy when he returns, man. You're gonna see rays of light coming forth from these chariots, destroying the wicked. Okay. Now, verse 12, it says, thou didst march through the land in indignation, meaning righteous anger. Thou didst thresh the heathen in anger. You see that? The Lord is coming back to punish the heathen, showing you that he's not for all these other nations. He's only for the nation of Israel and the elect on this go round at that. All right, you see that? So the Lord is not with you heathen. Habakkuk saw the vision of the Lord threshing you heathen. All right, in his anger. Let's get a quick precept on that. I believe it's in Micah 5 and verse 15. Hold up. All right, here it is right here. Micah chapter 5 verse 15. It says, and I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. Woo, man, extreme violence, extreme judgment coming to these heathen, especially you Edomites, the worst of the heathen. This is what we're waiting for, man. It's going to be a frightful thing. All right, we're going to be rejoicing at the vengeance, but at the same time, we're going to be afraid of the power that's coming. All right, because the power that the Lord is coming with is not from this world. Okay? You see what I'm saying? So, judgment is coming. It's prophesied to happen. It's coming soon. All right, so back in Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter. All right, he was just talking about how he's going to thresh the heathen in his anger, right? Verse 13. Thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people. Who is thy people? The Israelites. We're the Lord's people. All right? Man, let's prove that real quick. Hold up. So here is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and 6. And this time I got it in the NLT, the New Living Translation. All right? And it's referring to the Israelites. It says, for you are a holy people, meaning to be set apart. All right? Who belong to the Lord Yahweh. Bashmi Awashai, your power. All right? Of all the people on earth, the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Awashai, your power, has chosen you to be his own special treasure. The Israelites are set apart from all the heathen, you know, on the earth, man. We're the Lord's chosen people. And he's coming back to save the elect of his chosen people in these last days. Lord willing, we're of that number. So I just want to establish that real quick for all you wacky-tacky Christians that think that the Lord is coming back for everybody. No. Lord has a chosen people who are the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. And he's coming back to save the elect of the nation of Israel, the chosen out of our people. Okay. He's not coming back for everybody. All right. So back in Habakkuk 3, all right, verse 13 from the top, it says, thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people. All right. You see, even for salvation with thine anointed. All right. Now, who is the Lord's anointed, man? YAHAWASHI. That's how he's going to save us, through the Lord YAHAWASHI, who they ignorantly call Jesus, who is a so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah. All right. It says, thou woundest the head out of the house of the wicked by discovering the foundation unto the neck. Selah. And the head, you know, and the wicked is who? Esau. All right. The Lord is coming back to crush the head of these damn devils, man. That serpent. Let's get a quick precept on that. So we're going to take it way back to the book of Genesis, all right? Chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 14. It says, and the Lord Yahweh, all right, Bashmi Awashai, power, said unto the serpent, and the serpent is not talking about an actual snake, all right? He's talking about a man, all right? And that man today is Esau Edom, all right, the so-called white race, the wicked of the earth. All right. And the Lord power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle. All right. He's cursed above all people on the face of the earth. All right. And above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Meaning, they're going to be taken down. Because what? The serpent deceived who? Eve. And Eve is representative of the church, man. Eve is representative of the Israelites. Okay, and the serpent has deceived a lot of our people in these last days with all his different false ideologies, his false philosophies outside of the will of YAHAWASHI, such as freedom of religion. All right, he gave you homosexuality, all these things, man, that the Israelites were partaking in. That's likened unto that forbidden fruit. All right, and because Satan did that, well, I ain't gonna say Satan, the serpent. All right, because Satan is a spirit, and that is the spirit that Esau operates in. But because he is that vessel, that was used for that, the Lord's going to destroy him, man, and take him down out of power, because he can do that. All right. You see, and yeah, some people out there, oh, well, that's not fair. The Lord made him to be the wicked. Well, yeah, that's right. The Lord can do what he wants to do. He made these damn devils to be the wicked. He gave them wicked spirits, and now he's going to punish them for their wickedness. All right. And we're in that time. Okay. So he's going to be taken out of power for what he's done, all right, unto the Lord's people, the Israelites. All right. So anyway, next verse, it says, check it out. Here's the point. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman represents Israel, and between thy seed and her seed. All right. So the Edomites are against who? The Israelites. This is the wicked against the sons of the righteous, man. All right, the sons of Yahweh, YAHAWASHI. It says, it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. All right. So check it out, man. Eventually, the serpent's gonna get stomped out, man. Okay. Because when you kill a serpent, you step on his head. All right. That's symbolic to YAHAWASHI taking these damn devils out. Okay. You see, and we bruised our heel because, we were afflicted in these captivities, especially now in America, Babylon the Great. Our people are suffering, man. They're bruised, spiritually speaking. But what does it say? The serpent's head shall be crushed, man. His head is going to be bruised, meaning he's going to be taken out, man. All right, so back in Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 14, it says, thou didst strike through with his staves the head of his villages. They came out as a whirlwind to scatter me. Their rejoicing was as to devour the poor secretly. And that's what these devils are planning on doing, man. They're starting already. All right, they plan on devouring the Israelites. We're considered the poor. All right, we don't have any standing militaries and things like that. We don't have economic power in this world. All right. The earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. All right. And they're balling out of control in the earth. And we're the poor, man. That's why we got to go to work and pay bills and pay taxes to these damn devils. All right. But they plan on devouring the poor secretly. Let's get a precept on that. Here we have it right here. A precept that comes to mind is in the book of Psalms, chapter 64. I'm going to start at verse 1. All right. Psalm of David. And it says, hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. You see, they have secret counsels, man. They got plans on devouring who? The Israelites. All right. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. All right. Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. And they're doing that now, man. They're trying to demonize all the Israelites, using their news media. All right. They're trying to paint a narrative of us being the problem of the earth, when in all actuality, you damn devils are the problem of the earth. You're the wicked. But, they're going to take the wicked of our people and try to paint with a broad brush and paint us all to be wicked, man, and to be the problem. So they're going to try to come after us with their laws, the legislations that they're targeting all Israelites. All right. Now it says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. So that's them. That's what they do, man. All right. They set up traps and plans to try to devour the poor, to try to devour the perfect, man. All right. And that's talking about the elect of the nation of Israel. All right. Now we're not perfect in the flesh, but we're perfect in spirit. The elect are perfect in spirit. Lord willing, we're of that number. But they plan on devouring and murdering us, man. In case you didn't know. All right, so there you go, man. Just a quick precept on how the Edomites, these devils, the wicked, plan on devouring the poor secretly. All right, they secretly want to get at the prophets. All right, we're their main target. They're not going to come out and say that on the news, but they're going to do things, subtly, all right, to get at us. And they're not going to be victorious, man, because the Lord going to step in on our behalf and devour these devils. Now, verse 15, it says, thou didst walk through the sea with thine horses, through the heap of great waters. Now, it's not talking about the actual ocean, all right? It's talking about the waters above the waters, being the heavens, all right? The heavens are the Shemayim in the Hebrew, is known as the seas, all right? The Lord is returning, all right, with the host of heaven, all right? So that's what that's talking about, man. Verse 16, when I heard, my belly trembled, my lips quivered at the voice, rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I might rest in the day of trouble. When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops. That's right, man. The Lord is going to invade the earth with his troops. What are his troops? The angels. All right. The Lord is coming back with the host of heaven. All right. To save the elect and to destroy the enemies of YAHAWASHI. All right. Let's get a quick precept on that in the book of Zechariah. So here we have the book of Zechariah, the 5th chapter. I'm going to start at verse 1. All right. And it goes into the vision that the Lord, I'm going to say it this way. The Lord opened up the eyes of Zechariah to see the chariots, the hosts of heaven. All right. So right here, verse 1, it says, then I looked and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. He was describing a so-called UFO, man, the vehicles of the angels. Zechariah saw it. The Lord opened his eyes up to see. All right. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. All right. So he saw this chariot in the air, in the sky. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For every one that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and every one that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. All right. So check it out, man. The Lord describes the chariots as a curse. It's a curse unto who? The wicked. That's why they're so afraid of these UFOs being spotted. Because, the elites of Esau know that those are the angels, man. They're coming back for vengeance. So it's a curse unto these wicked people. All right. And they go over the face of the whole earth. They're everywhere, man. But a lot of them are being spotted here in America, Babylon the Great, the chief place of destruction. Now, verse 4, it says, I will bring it forth, saith the Lord YAHAWASHI of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. All right. That's talking about the house of Esau, man. Mainly America, Babylon the Great. All right, because Esau has stolen the Israelites. He's had us in slavery. All right, look at the history. All right, he's done all kind of atrocities to the northern and southern kingdom here in America, Babylon the Great. This land is covered by the blood of the Israelites, man. You see, it's defiled by the blood of our people. All right, so the Lord is finna, pay Esau a visit. All right, so it says, it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, right, America, Babylon the Great, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. Yeah, man. These angels that you see in the heavens, they're finna get busy at some point in time, man. They're gonna attack at the Lord's command. All right. So not only will this place be burned up with thermonuclear fire from the missiles, all right, of World War III, but also the concentrated fire and the rays of light that come from the chariots, man. All right. Because right now they're not doing anything. They're just making themselves known. All right. They're carrying out different missions on the earth, but they're finna really get down at the Lord's command when it's time for them to get activated and to start destroying this place. All right. So that's what it's talking about, man. This ain't no joke. So back in Habakkuk 3, all right, verse 16, we left off there, where it talks about how the Lord is going to invade them with his troops, the angels, the host, the armies of heaven. Verse 17, although the fig tree shall not blossom, neither shall fruit be in the vines, the labor of the olive shall fail, and the field shall yield no meat. The flock shall be cut off from the fold, and there shall be no herd in the stalls. Yet, check it out, yet I will rejoice in the Lord Yahawah, YAHAWASHI. I will joy in the power of my salvation. That's right, man. So through all the chaos and the death and destruction, we're going to be rejoicing, man. All right, because the Lord is coming back to save who? Us. All right, Lord willing, we're the elect, man. All right, we're going to be rejoicing at these times, man. Finally, the Lord's going to come back and avenge us, man. All right. Verse 19, the Lord Yahawah, YAHAWASHI, power is my strength, and he will make my feet like hinds' feet, and he will make me to walk upon mine high places, to the chief singer on my string instruments. So this kind of alludes to something that King David said as well, man, how the Lord will make his feet like unto hinds' feet, like deer's feet, swift. All right, because the Lord's going to give his men spiritual power in these last days too. He's going to turn us up when all hell breaks loose. So Habakkuk was mentioning that too. All right. So yeah, man, the Lord Yahawah YAHAWASHI is our strength. And, you know, we need to be moving in fear, but also at the same time, be expecting the salvation. All right. It's going to be scary times, but guess what? He's coming back to save us, man. Those who have been serving him in truth and sincerity. All right. Those who hold on to the faith until the end, man. The Lord got us, man. It's prophesied to happen. He's going to invade this bitch with his troops, right? The host of heaven, to destroy our enemies and to rescue the elect, man. That's what we're waiting on. All right. So just want to do a quick lesson on that. Hopefully it wasn't too long. The book of Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, man, highly prophetic. And we're in these times, man. So hold on. All right. The Lord is coming back to get us, man. So I'm going to end it right there. I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. A double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi. Lord willing, this was edifying, man. And Kwame Asharala in the Bible Ball. Shalom.